Just a disclaimer, RPN is not responsible for the views, actions, or opinions of its guests or advertisers. An appearance on RPN is not to be considered an endorsement, and information contained herein is not to be construed as medical or legal advice. The viewers of RPN are encouraged to do their own research. Welcome, everyone, once again, to Saturday Night Livestream. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. I just want to say, got a lot of people in the audience, many people just as excited about tonight as I am. Very proud to say that Adam from Marfoogle News and Marfoogle TV is here. We're going to have an incredible, stimulating conversation. You guys are going to have the opportunity to get in on the conversation yourselves. We're going to do a call-in show in the second hour. So please, everyone, be respectful in the chat. Know that the people in there with you are your brothers and sisters. And, yeah, let's have a good time. We've got lots of interesting things to discuss. So, with that in mind, please stick around. We've got a brief word from my sponsor, and we'll be right back as soon as that is done. We've got Patriots from Missouri, Patriots from Ohio, Texas, Cocoa Beach, the Netherlands, Oklahoma, northern Wisconsin. I saw Michigan in there. Hope you guys are staying warm. South Florida. We'll be right back. All right, guys, first of all, thank you to the devs at Vikings War of Clans for sponsoring the program once again. Simone and I have been playing it all month. It is so much fun, so let's go and take a look at it. You're going to want to play if you haven't already. I've been playing this game for a couple months now, but after the first 5 minutes, I was hooked. It's a lot like the RPG and strategy games I used to play in the 90s. Stuff like Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, Elder Scrolls, you know what I mean. It's not like today's games, which are all about running and hiding and shooting. Vikings gives you this deep strategic experience. It's a game that combines strategy, team play, and where you invest time, that's where the payoff is going to come in the victories. I can't say enough about the visual style. The 3D graphics are awesome, the presentation is incomparable, and it has a soundtrack that you are going to love. From the moment you step in, you are transported into the world of Vikings. When you start off, you're in the role of Jarl, the leader of your own kingdom. You gotta start by building your town, building your army, and then head out into the countryside and start sacking and pillaging. I also love the fact that I can play this game when I want to, for how long I want to. If I go for 5 minutes or 5 hours, I can pick it up when I feel like it, and it's all right. Choose your game style. Go out and explore, focus on building up your city, research technologies, or discover the mythical world of Vikings, but in the end, it's all about the ranking and achieving glory. Help support my channel by downloading Vikings for free, only from my links in the description box below, and get the special bonus of 200 free gold coins and a protective shield. Don't forget to look me up and join my Vikings clan under the name Lake Mimir Alliance. All right, you guys, thank you once again for joining us. I just got to say I appreciate everybody who's here. Please do us a favor. Remember to like and share this video on your favorite social media platform. It will help us get through the algos. You know that they are trying to keep us down. Once again, guys, joining me this evening is my good friend Adam from Marfoogle News, so please give him a warm RPN welcome. Adam, thank you for being here.
Hey, what is going on?
Oh, not much, brother.
Thanks for having me, man.
I'm really glad to finally be able to do this. We've been talking about this for a while. I've been a fan of your program for a long time, and I appreciate all of the time and effort you put into it. It's very professional. You have certainly inspired me to produce a better product here. So once again, thanks for being here, dude.
Yeah, no problem. And one of our goals is to help smaller creators. Obviously, you're a larger creator. I have a lot of respect for Red Pill, because he does this solo everything, thumbnails, design, social media platforms. So that's a huge thing. I did it for the first year, but when it got bigger, and my main channel is not even as big as yours, I needed help. And we have several people help our program. Now we have 2 channels and live shows that are going on and multiple platforms. So it's a little bit harder, but it's still a lot of respect. And to do it 7 days a week is huge. So that's insane.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate the recognition. It is a little taxing at times, but I mean, it's what I got to do. I mean, this is my passion. I feel very lucky to be able to be in this position. Hopefully, at some point, it will turn into a situation where I can, create a larger corporation and bring people on. I would love to be able to do that. And I did want to say also, I love the commitment that you guys have to helping smaller creators. I mean, you take a lot of time. I mean, you call out a lot of different channels. You give people the opportunity to, to kind of take advantage of the platform that you've developed, bringing up other people, helping them get monetized. I mean, you're helping people live the dream, dude. So thank you once again on that point.
So yeah, we've helped over 260 channels now get to 1,000 subscribers and monetized. There are negatives and there's positives and negatives of that. About 1 in every 10 ends up realizing that YouTube is not easy, and better than anybody, this is hard work. I mean, you wake up, and for your show, we have a lot in common. Like you said, you wake up, start planning the show, start putting stuff together, just for that scheduled show. And people don't understand that, people on TV do this for hundreds of thousands of dollars. We do it for essentially pennies. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty crazy to think that what we put out is not only breaking news and things like this, but it's entertainment. It's something that people watch every single day. They look forward to it, and I understand that, my show is more the family. It's the community. Mm-hmm. Same with yours. We both draw big numbers. I think we have a lot in common.
Yeah.
As far as the live shows, drawing in, there's not many people that draw in 3,000 people every show, so there was a lot there. I didn't discover you for a long time, and that's how YouTube is. Isn't that weird? I just didn't know until like a few months ago.
And YouTube just switched my my login. So hang on, let me just make sure that we are still live. Okay. Yes, it is. Playing tricks on us. Well, I'm glad that you were able to discover me, because I remember the first time I saw you in my chat on a live stream, I was like, a bit of a fanboy moment. I said, this is somebody that I watch, and I can't believe they're here. It's still kind of surreal for me when I look at how far it's come in just this last year, to know that, I mean, just a year ago, I was dreaming about how big it could get and where I could take it. And now instead, I mean, I schedule these shows about a month and a half in advance, so like I'm like really like burning the candle on both ends to make sure that I have consistent, good content to be able to put out for people. So
yeah, we planned this last month, right?
Yeah, exactly.
5 weeks ago.
It's good stuff. So where's Dex? Is Dex not going to be here with us tonight?
We were trying to figure that out. He didn't have his main camera set up, but we can always pull him in on the phone as well, or some other way.
Well, Dex, if you're watching, you are welcome to jump in the conversation at any time.
Oh, I guarantee it. And okay. Dex is a wealth of tech knowledge, and he helps a lot of the creators, a lot of the smaller creators too. When I'm not available, Dex has stepped in and helped everybody out. Dex is a big part of the show, so I give him a lot of credit. We get a lot of crap from all sides. You're starting to see that if you do shows a lot, like every single day, you can't please everybody. It's going to happen at some point that, things are going to happen and people aren't going to like you.
It's inevitable. People like to drag others down if they don't think that they're getting the respect that they deserve. But whatever, it is what it is, and it comes with the territory. So like you mentioned family earlier. And I mean, it's like a part of your brand, entirely. And I feel like we have the same kind of situation here. I mean, everybody, by the majority of people that are in the chat every weekend when we have these shows, it's a very tight-knit group. People are very respectful of each other. Everybody is just friendly and is looking to have a good time, hang out. We don't have a bunch of, profanity in the chat. I've got really great mods. I just want to say also hello to all of my mods. Looks like they might have dropped us. We're down to 92 viewers, which is unusual. But can we turn up your mic just a little bit, Adam? I turned it up on my end, but can you give me a mic check?
Yeah. Is
Okay,
that
that's
any
good.
better? Or?
That's perfect. That's perfect right there. All right. So one of the things that you're really, really good with as well is the intel that you get on situations. I mean, you guys seem to have like breaking intelligence on some really big, events taking place both at home and abroad. And you had said before that you have something like over 400 like active and former military people that are like in your network of individuals.
So we have 12,500 people in our Discord, and then those are broken up into state groups. See, even if people don't like my channel, don't like me, which is usually the case, there's some people that you just don't like, and I accept that. They like the groups. There's people that actually hate me but love our Discord, and our Discord is amazing because it is broken up into all these state groups. Most of these groups have sort of a leader, unspoken leader, or somebody who organizes it. They then have these groups that meet on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly basis. And then on top of that, we have separate rooms divided, just like any Discord. We have one that you actually have to be confirmed in, which we have someone who is a confirmed military member go over their application and let them in. It is meant to have a safe space for ex-military and current military to talk to each other. Like, I don't even go in there unless we're asking them a question, but they have basically swapped information, and they've been swapping information the whole time we're live. When I first started out, I had one source, which was a family member slash, family friend type thing. And now we have over 400 active and retired military folks, some of them being extremely high up, and then, some of them being privates and just normal, Joe Schmoes. So with that, we are getting a lot of good stuff. We're not just, I guess, getting information that's based off of a theory off of another YouTube video or something like this. We're getting actual documents and things like this. So we can't talk about everything that we get. If it doesn't put anyone in harm, we usually do not put it out. Or we will put it out through our Marfoogle alert system, which we have several thousand signed up for that. And then that goes out, and that can send out information as well. If something was to really hit the fan or something that we knew was coming, we would use that system. So there's stuff going on right now that, eventually, if you want to talk about with Virginia, that's a big deal right now. And that's something we are getting some pretty solid information about.
Well, let's jump to it, because that's a specific thing that I wanted to ask you about. I mean, a lot of people are extremely afraid. What's happening in Virginia right now is, probably the biggest infringement upon people's Second Amendment rights that I can remember in my lifetime. And I've heard some reports that they're looking to mobilize the National Guard in that state. I know President Trump finally spoke out about it the other day. So I'm wondering, how far they're going to let that get. I mean, are they actually going to go and do the gun grab? I mean, are they going to take people's weapons?
So it looks like, from what they are saying, they're actually meeting with locals and coming up with contingency plans to do so. The thing is if when you look at what's going on, you look at what they're actually doing, they are setting up contingency plans. They are doing drills. Just yesterday, we covered last night, and I didn't tell you this before the show, but this is something we covered last night. They are doing a no-fly zone over Richmond. Then they also we had an ad, a casting call for a local company that was looking for actors, and they specifically said that they did not want C actor, or, somebody in a crisis. They wanted professional actors. They literally used FF in their advertisement. They said, we are not looking for C actors for a FF operation. No joke. This was a real ad, and they ended up taking it down after they got several applicants. And it said, we're looking for professional actors. What that tells me is that's really weird that they are not looking for the experienced people that are doing, that kind of stuff. Yeah. They're looking for experienced people to literally be professional actors. They want somebody they can possibly pay to say whatever. Yeah. And have them sign a contract. That's what I feel. But again, with Richmond, all the things that are going on, we're about to talk to an actual sheriff, an elected sheriff in Virginia, in one of the sanctuary cities. and we're gonna get his view on it here, either tomorrow or the next day. So that's something that we have planned too. People don't like to hear some of the negative things that we're talking about, but it's all backed up. Like, we on our show, we back up everything with articles or some sort of bibliography to back up what we're saying. Right now, their FBI is using eminent domain to actually grab all of the night vision goggle tubes. So they are doing something massive. I've covered before. They're doing night vision training. They're doing underground training. What is going on? Like, it looks to me like we're going to be in the dark.
Yeah, that's a pretty scary idea. I just need to do a quick thank you to Kimberlyn. She said, this is bizarro, but in a good way, where we go one, we go all. Definitely good to have Adam on the show. Jennifer Small said, Virginia looks to be the perfect storm right now, with bad guys and C actors all set to create chaos to blame the president for losing gun rights. And then, this is interesting, on the same note, I had a viewer, Die Hippie Die, on Twitter, sent me some information that there was a Clowns in America airplane that was running surveillance in circles directly over Richmond the other day. I think this is on the 16th. And it flew out of a military base just slightly to the southeast, Camp Peary. Camp Peary. Flew out of Camp Peary, and it was flying over Richmond for about 24 hours. So, I mean, something is definitely about to go down. I mean, it sure looks like it. But my question here would be in regards to the night vision scopes. Why would they need to confiscate them from people? I mean, you would think that the military, the government, would have enough night vision scopes for their troops. So are they planning on having an influx of troops? Or do they need night vision that they want to take it away from the people?
Well, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be taking it from homes. Like, they know, Joe Schmo has a night vision goggles. They are actually taking orders from even consumer companies, companies that literally make them for specialty purposes. They are taking the actual things that go into making them.
Oh,
they need those. So they're taking the tubes. Just to show you here. Let's see here. Let's see the FBI claimed eminent domain over the tubes. So I believe it's part that is actually used to make these.
Okay.
Relates a shocking event where he had already locked in the purchase of 70 night vision tubes from his distributor and had those tubes invoiced and committed. Within hours, the FBI claimed eminent domain over the tubes, effectively seizing them from ready-made resources before they could even be shipped. So they are literally taking the parts to make night vision goggles, and they are taking eminent domain and saying, no, these are not going to customers, these are going to us. This is after they've done, every single base around the country is doing a special brigade. We've had callers that are actual military callers say that they were jealous of the guys who got to do this night training. Mm-hmm. The night training guys, the guys that are training underground, this is all public information too.
Oh yes,
and everybody's still saying, it's fear porn.
They're
doing something big.
I've reported on the training of troops specifically for underground warfare. Here, there was something came out a couple of months about it. But have you gotten any specific intelligence on that? Like people who've actually taken part in those drills?
Yeah, we've had two callers we ended up clipping and putting over on our main channel. And they said that they are literally practicing in urban environments, going in and out of manholes. They are actually climbing in and out of dark buildings that do not have any power. So we're talking about an urban landscape fighting in the dark. So, and here's the thing. It might not, you would think, having the power grid go down or something like that. Something like that could be on purpose. Mm-hmm. So say Virginia got bad, and they're gonna try to do things. All the drills, all the acting that they're asking for is asking the participants to be okay with smoke grenades, being okay with being in the dark, being okay with doing all this. So it's like a direct correlation. So they're basically practicing for being in the dark. What would the military do to win in a situation like that? If every soldier has night vision goggles, just like any raid on any T cell, they're going to turn off the lights. They're going to cut power to the whole village. Mm-hmm. We've seen this factually in almost every single takeover, every high head of Saddam, you got bin Laden, all of these people were taken in the dark of the night. So whatever they're doing, why would they need eminent domain of so many night vision goggles after this huge order they already placed? Homeland Security, which is supposed to be on our ground, ordering 1.6 billion bullets. It says to me that something has a long-term plan. This is all part of something that's been, planned for a long time.
Absolutely.
And for the people that see it, we look like, we look like we're shouting it's the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It's the start of what has been planned for a very long time. But people don't want to see that.
Yeah, I think that for people to bury their heads in the sand and just say, just because something hasn't happened doesn't mean that it won't. I mean, you have to be prepared for these kinds of things. And some people, I believe, are just a little bit more prepared than others. And if you're asking those questions, if you're actually speaking to people in the know, that puts you in an actual position to do something about that. I need to say thank you to Gaffer Anon, and then Social Observer asked about the people on the other sides of the protests, like in Charlottesville. They're supposed to be protesting in solidarity with patriots. That is where you can find your FF to blame patriots. Whoever first fires loses. Haven't heard about that. Have you heard about any reports of the Bernie Sanders types placing themselves in patriot protests to take over and start something off?
Well, yeah. So they were going to march along and the Antifa, which they don't like over here. And the reason why, by the way, why I say things weird.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously we got a strike for 90 days because, we tried not doing it.
Sure. But
again, that group is actually planning on marching alongside with the, pro-gun protesters. That's weird. That screams operation if I've ever seen one.
Absolutely.
I mean, why, it's unlikely allies there. So, no, I've never heard of that before, but that's something that's actually happening right now.
Very interesting. XR Penis, thank you very much. You got me. Thanks for joining up as a member. Also, Social Observer said, love to unite with those other guys over the Second Amendment, but don't trust it. I certainly wouldn't trust it myself. Lynn M. said, longtime Foogle fam and RP78 fam as well. Phil McConnell called from prison, and don't go to Virginia because it's a trap. I trust him, just saying. I mean, I certainly wouldn't be going to Virginia right now. If anybody lives there, I think maybe just be on your guard, but I'm not going to make a trip to Virginia Beach. Gino Haddad said, RP is a must-see live stream. You are the next-gen news source. When the fake news and CNN is long gone, RP will remain. God bless. God bless you. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. So, yeah, I wanted to talk about the strike, too, because people might not understand what's going on. I mean, you regularly do live streams. And they recently instituted some new types of copyright things. There's a couple of different types of copyright that you can get, and there's something called fair use. People may not understand this, but you have the legal right to use certain amounts of copywritten material in very short amounts, and you have to overlay commentary. It's why a lot of people on YouTube produce videos in the way that they do. You can't just take somebody else's video and play it and then expect to not get a copyright strike. Well, technically, that also extends to both pictures and audio. Audio is one of the easiest ways you can get a copyright strike. That's why we can't play music on our streams. That's why we can't play songs on our videos if they're copywritten, if they're popular songs. Lots of times people will send me a message and say, you need to do a story on this and play this song by Queen or something like that. I'm sorry, I like Queen, but I'm not going to be able to play that song. Well, that extends to pictures as well. I mean, you and I might pull a photo off of Google Images, a picture of Rudy Giuliani, and it's owned by, whatever, AP or something like that. And they can technically strike your video and then monetize it when YouTube wouldn't monetize it for you initially even, and then take all of the advertising revenue. What happened in your instance there?
So, and not only just pictures, memes, people don't realize that those memes actually usually are owned by a production company, or if they're not, they're purchased from whoever made them. They'll track it down. You'll see it on Twitter a lot.
Are you talking about Jukin Media?
Maybe. There's a lot of them. Well, but here's the thing: you'll see in Twitter, if you'll see a meme that you've never seen before, sometimes you'll see, "Hey, did you make this? Who made this? Where can I get the source?" And then they'll pay them like $10, $20, PayPal right then. For somebody who just spent 5 minutes making a meme, they'll own that meme, and if it's going big, then any use of it, they will have their team go after and get it. Now there is new stuff kicking in on platforms. It's essentially a better content ID for memes, for visuals. Before, you could even trick the API, and we kind of showed you kind of what we go through. We look at what Google sees, and you can see what they actually register. So like a lot of the titles and thumbnails that you see, we try to make the letters and fade it and make it so it kind of picks up different things and doesn't make a word, whatever. In our case, it was a 1.5 year old stream, and it had a small piece of material that was 3 hours into a stream, and then that got picked up. The owner of that content did not choose to monetize on that. They actually chose to strike, and they have that option. And we basically, in that case, I was a very young streamer. It was not something that I could really fight. So that took, and it's considered a community guideline strike. And then you lose whichever one you're on. If it was on an edited video or if it's on a live, you actually lose live streaming for 90 days.
Yeah.
So this is happening to a lot of people, but now it's happening because of pictures. If you go on Twitter, you'll see all of the big creators are getting fined, in some cases $30,000. Most of them are down in the $3,000 range just for using a quick snippet of a picture. And now it's getting tracked by all these companies. Audio is easy. A lot of the times you don't, you can take it out. You can use the editor. If a caller accidentally plays, a song in the background, it will give you the opportunity to replace it with something that YouTube makes, or to replace it with silence. So they give you that option. Now with pictures, there's no way you can do it. There's no way you can edit that out. So,
well, it seems really extreme, because whoever gave you that strike, for whatever reason, obviously, if you have a picture that appears on your screen for 2 to 5 seconds in the midst of a full 3-hour live stream, how ridiculous for them to give you a copyright strike for that, when they could actually, mark the video and say that it's copywritten, and they could choose to ask you to remove that small segment of video. You should be able to do that.
The whole thing. It's a 1.5 year old. It's a dead video.
Yeah.
It had 10,000 views. The thing is, and again, some people do it to hold somebody ransom. I think this person actually didn't like what kind of content we covered. Because we reach out, we want to figure something out. We want to do something. Everybody got pissed off at us. Everybody's like, "Oh, I'm unsubscribed. You're going to, D-Live or whatever." It wasn't a choice.
Yeah.
It's not like, but it's actually worked out, because we record the live section of our show over there and then bring it over in Premiere. Oddly enough, you can still do a Premiere even if you don't even have live streaming privileges.
Oh,
even
really?
For small channels that don't have 1,000 subscribers yet, you can actually still do a Premiere. So I'm live in the chat with people, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People watch your show and they participate. They're able to say a sentence or a phrase, and then they're able to say super chat you to not only participate into the community, but to spread that message to everybody else, and to have that permanently on that content to make that something that is interesting. Without that, our channels lose a lot. I don't think people realize how demonetized we get, kind of, or they don't understand that you can get demonetized or not safe for all advertisers, which basically is the same thing. You know this, right?
Oh yeah. Advertisements for urine removal and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
The low quality ads, not Pizza Hut, nothing like that.
We get the Amazon FBA ads that don't care who it is. They just want to reach somebody and do their sales spiel. And people are like, "Oh, I could make $1 million." Yup. Yeah, no, those don't, and we do have operational costs. We actually have one more on top of that, like copyrighted music. The what's really shocking is we pay for all of our copyrighted images. We pay for our copyrighted music from MusicBed. So we pay a lot of money per month.
Oh, yeah.
To play the music on the show.
Yeah.
And that's why it was such a surprise to get that.
Same for me. I have multiple subscriptions to multiple different collateral places where I can get videos, where I can, like stock videos, stock images, stock music, things that I can use to punch up the show. Because otherwise you could just sit there scrolling through pages online for hours a day, looking for something that's not copywritten, but that still is good enough to put into the show that has the right sound. Baby Yoda said, no one is talking about what Trump said at the rally last night. Bin Laden didn't take down the towels. I did not hear him say that. That's very interesting. Bin Laden didn't take down the towels. Huh, strange.
Bin Laden?
Yeah. I'm going to use that. Bin Laden. E36M3 Jeff Kennedy said, iPod always mentions tunnels in cities, Detroit, LA, Chicago. It's true. I've been to Detroit, been to my hometown. There are tunnels underneath there. They exist everywhere, I believe it's Seattle, where there's like an old city under the modern day city with tunnels that run all throughout it. Then let's see. Michael Kenny said, "Isn't the word Trump copyrighted? I hope he takes CNN to court for each and every time they uttered the word in the past few years. Justice. That would be hilarious. Okay,
that would be great.
What a plan! What a plan!" And then Phil Denman said, "Oh my God, pinch me! Is this a dream?" No, Phil, you are awake, and this is real. But yeah, there's to your point, there is a lot that goes into this. Oh, my cat's here. Come on, honey.
I heard. I thought it was one of my phones, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm ruining things.
She wants to come sit on my shoulders. This is where she hangs out all the time.
Oh my gosh, I have my Siamese is running around my feet. That's funny.
Yeah,
that's kind of a mix. That's a weird mix.
She's a Blue Point Siamese, or maybe a Seal
sounds
Point.
Expensive.
Yeah, it was she was free. Don't get me wrong. I have good taste, but I mean, I only shop when stuff's on sale. So
that's awesome. Yeah, my friend has a $3,000 cat. I'm like, I've gotten all my cats from the pound, or they've in a wood pile.
Yeah. Somebody abandoned her. That's how I got her.
That's awesome.
Great. But yeah, she creeps in all the time when I'm producing videos, and you know how you get into a groove. I'm reading the script, I'm trying to get through my point, and then she starts meowing in the background, and then people are like, "RP, I kept thinking there was a cat at my front door. I was looking for a cat under the porch."
I was literally, you can rewind and watch me go like it.
Yes, exactly. Filled with Hope said, "I love that you guys are supporting each other, and the cat meows in the background. LOL. Thank you so much. Glad to be here. Glad to have Adam on the show."
What's really important is that we, you get it because you're a content creator, but we are really doing our best job. We do a lot of work to put on our shows, and people, I think the main thing that really pops up is people. It always goes back to people doing stuff for views and doing stuff for this or doing stuff for that. I don't think people could do what we put on if you were just doing that. Like, you would burn out really quick. I actually like doing my stuff. I like my community of people. In fact, I see my Foogle fam down there. Marfy on 3, 2, 1. But seriously, it's a family, and I now have best friends. I've never had, these are people I've never shook hands with, but I literally trust with my life, watching right now. But one of the things is we're getting attacked. All of us, all creators in this group, and we're all basically what they do is they get us to fight each other, and they'll post up as one person. It's an anonymous name, and say, "Hey, this guy sucks, and he said you suck too behind scenes." And then you don't like this guy, you talk crap about this guy, then this guy's talking crap about you. We're constantly, I see all these hate videos. One thing that I love about you don't do hate videos about other channels. No. You create your content, and we put out stuff that's just heading in one direction forward, not going backwards and saying this guy's this and this guy's that. No. I mean, they'll pick apart anything.
Absolutely. And that's mutual, dude.
Pushing each other up.
It's mutual for me as well, because I've never seen you making a video about somebody or even responding to stuff like that. And that's exactly my track on this. You know, I am only interested in producing quality content that people are going to enjoy to watch, that can realistically compete with network television. You know, the stuff that people, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars per episode, you know, shows that are written by a group of 10 people, that are produced by a group of 30 people, and that, you know, the person who's on stage shows up for 5, maybe 6 hours a day, and then they get to go home to their families, and they have somebody else that answers their phone, they have somebody else who answers their email, they have a personal assistant. You know, like you said at the beginning of the show, this is just me. This is my life. You know, I put my heart and my soul into this. And for people who have a problem, they can go ahead and, you know, keep their problems to themselves. At least I'm not going to bring any airtime to it. I'm not going to allow that person to have the satisfaction of knowing that their name is on my lips. I will never do that. Because there's absolutely no point to it. Somebody told me a long time ago, don't feed the trolls. And I always tell my viewers, when you get into it on social media with people, you know, it's the same thing. You know, do not get drawn into some type of a dust-up between multiple people who just want to see you freak out and have an episode and watch you get stressed out. Because they will never stop, okay? There will always be people out there who have problems and who thrive on this type of thing. There's a whole segment on YouTube, the drama, okay? People just have drama channels. That's all they want, is they go out and they seek out people that they can use to create their own content, that they can absorb whatever viewers they have that might feel disenfranchised for whatever reason, then they capitalize on it. And, you know, people will say that, you know, other people are, you know, are shills. That's like the number one thing that people come out and say at the beginning. You know, you're a shill now because, you know, I'm disappointed in you because, okay, I'm sorry that I'm making content for, you know, 200,000 people, and I'm trying to do my best to keep everybody happy. But it's just not possible. You will never be able to satisfy every single person. And I'm just glad that I've got, you know, 3,500 people watching us right now that I know are here for the right reasons. Filled with Hope said, off-topic question, can we donate to Methods? You guys, Methods is not asking for donations. If you want to, then, you know, I'll put out a special announcement tomorrow when White Hat and I are doing our show. White Hat's going to fill in. Methods is my friend who's sick, who left social media the other day. He's not specifically asking for a donation, so I don't want people to think that he's in a situation where he needs to be financially supported. I'm sure he would appreciate it, but you know, but that's not where it's at right now. He needs to have some time to himself to rest up and hopefully come back here and be with us. Like we were talking before the show, Adam, and the things that you go through, you know, I mean, like besides creation of content, the time invested in this is insurmountable for most people. You know, like if I only paid attention to my Twitter every day, that would be the only thing I did on a daily basis. But, you know, I've got to pay attention to the YouTube notifications. I've got to pay attention to my personal email, my business email, you know, any social media that I might have. It's a job in and of itself. And if somebody's in a position where for their physical and mental well-being, where they need to be offline, then, you know, whatever, man, if that's what you need, then, you know, good for you. You know, please go ahead and rest up and take care of yourself. So I appreciate everybody who wants to support Methods, because he's my best friend. And not having him here has definitely been a difficult thing for me. And I just hope that he comes back soon, because I miss him. And I know that everybody else does too. So yeah,
he's like your Dex.
He is my Dex.
Dex is my that's my guy.
Yeah.
And we couldn't, you know, a lot of the show it revolves around the people that help us do this stuff. I mean, it is really a lot of work, and people don't understand that. We've done a pretty good job. We've literally tried to back up everything we say, do everything we can to actually have something, you know, palatable right there for people to read, but they still hate. So I learned a long time ago that you have to ignore it. You know, they've put out hit pieces on me. They've said, you know, speaking of cats, I literally had an instance where I had a hot mic and I ended up screaming at my cat, my sister, and everybody. And I was pissed off, the cat was in heat. You'd probably have your cat neutered.
Yeah.
But we got that cat out of a wood pile, and it goes off. And I had an argument at first. I wanted to get her neutered because my wife didn't, and she wasn't even there. And I'm like pissed off about it. They ended up taking that section, and then because you can hear me clearly talk to my daughter, she's on the other side of the house in the bathroom, and I say, "Okay, honey," blah 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 blah, after dropping f-bombs in the other room, and I'm like, get this damn. And then you hear me, and like it's like, why would somebody drop f-bombs, blah, 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 and then say, "Okay, honey, I'll give you some help in a second." I mean, that's literally what it did, because these mics are so sensitive.
Yes.
And then people turn that in, and I showed people. Literally, I did a stream, and I'm like, "Look at my cat." My cat jumps up on my shoulders like this. I posted several pictures. Literally, you're standing there, and that's what happened. So they'll just jump onto your leg, claw, and come all the way up, because she was in such pain. Like, I didn't know what to do. Then I posted a stream, and I got so much crap. They said, "You never pet a cat in heat." So then people were mad at me because I pet my cat in heat, which I didn't know.
Why are you not supposed to pet your cat in heat?
I don't know, because it makes them, it like irritates
Excited?
it, and then it just keeps it going. I mean, like the stuff that people get mad at. Like we talked off camera, which, by the way, Red Pill 78 is the same. He's actually a super genuine person off camera. I talked to a lot of YouTubers. I've worked with a lot of them, and some of them literally just have that background agenda. They just want this or want that. They don't give a crap about anybody. You actually do. Like, you care about methods. You care about your people, and it. I could see that you were, frustrated. So there's a lot of stuff. People. We get burnt out on this, because I came into this too, trusting everybody, being an open book and saying here, this and that. And, time after time after time again, you have one person that say, you have to kick out as a mod, and they'll freaking flip on you. Their life mission is to ruin you because they're not a part of it anymore.
Yeah.
Or somebody who helped you and now they don't. It's like, it's insane. You don't know. That's the other bad part about not meeting and shaking their hand, is because you are next to all of these people. You have no idea what their agenda is.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably one of the toughest things for me, is because, innately, I want to trust people. I meet people and, I mean, like you said, I appreciate that, man, because I am genuine. What you see is what you get. I'm the same person here as I am, when the camera's off and I'm just hanging out with my family. So, I meet people and I want to trust them too. And it's easy for people to come in with an agenda and, to maybe try to set you up, to try and, portray themselves as something completely other than what they are. Because when it's just through a text exchange, when it's just through a DM or something like that, it is completely different than seeing somebody's face, and being able to get that body language. It's one of the hardest things for me is losing that actual like visual and physical interaction with people, because you can't tell. You really can't tell. You either have to trust people or you just don't, and then you'll never get anything done because you'll never be able to move past a certain point. So like you really just have to kick that in and allow yourself to trust. And then when something happens, it's like, it makes you second guess everything. You start questioning everything. And I don't want to be a jaded person. I still want to be able to have these real interactions with people. And, it is what it is.
That's what happens, though. People like us who, are the nice guys or whatever, we are the ones who end up getting jaded, and then soon people are saying, this guy's a jerk. Just recently, for like the second time ever, I hung up on somebody, and it's just because it's my show, and people, I've said the rules like a million times, and people don't do it, and then it's like, look at the situation that I'm in. You get kind of. You just get burned so many times, and then you help somebody. I've helped somebody literally get 3,000 subscribers in a night, and then they turn on you then like 3 days later because they have maybe a screw or two loose. I've helped somebody get more than that, and then they turn on you. Everything, supplies, help them with cameras, all sorts of stuff. And then when things aren't what they think they're going to be, It's just like a switch turns. How could you? I could never do it. You know, everybody's talking about Tyler from Secure Team.
Yeah, man, I love Tyler.
He's gone through some crap recently,
Yeah.
and there's accusations flying and whatever else. But here's the thing: no matter what he ended up really doing in real life, that's one, not our business.
Yeah.
Two, you know, you're innocent until proven guilty, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Cancel culture and everything that's going on right now, people are just shitty because they are judging him based on whatever. Maybe he got arrested again. Maybe it's because I've seen that you can be completely innocent and still be put in handcuffs. You know, you could be the victim and be put in handcuffs.
Very true.
So you don't know what's going on with this guy. And then he says he's being attacked. We are all being attacked. We see it. You've seen it. Have you not?
Oh, yeah.
We are actually being attacked as channels who don't go with the narrative. Almost every single channel we've ever talked to, True, I'm sure you've heard it from him. Every single Jacob Israel, all these people that I talk to, Prepper Nurse One, we're all being attacked right now. So it's more important than ever that we need to team up and get in this and you know, create creator spaces where we literally stand hand in hand and, you know, say Red Rover, send censorship right on over and throw their asses back.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
We're not going to have two narratives. You guys realize this? The narrative that you have of any person. So if you don't like a YouTuber, it's probably coming from something you've heard from something that's BS and attack, especially if it's on the right side.
Yeah.
So we all need to focus on what is like really going on and focus on what, you know, what people are pushing forward and doing positivity, what people are sitting back and just basically making content, talking about other people.
Right. I mean, it's
Where does that take
easy.
us?
It's easy to talk trash about people. It's very easy to get on camera and just say, you know, like, I don't trust this person and I don't think you do too. Never once on this channel have I ever told people who to follow. Have I ever told people, you know, I have a problem with this person or I don't like the content that they do. You know, I want people to trust but verify, make up their own minds. I am not here to direct anybody, okay? I'm here to help people find the truth on their own. Real quick, Colleen Luce Wilson says, T-Man is telling us our emergency number was inside. What is that? T-Man was telling us our emergency number was inside. Colleen, if you could elaborate on that. I don't know what that means.
So actually, Ruth King in the chat says night vision used for underground tunnels in every state. Some go down many floors. The military is taking care of the tunnels. So there's a lot of stuff that's been going on, and I'm telling you, whatever it is, if it's underground or overground, they are going to be in a situation where there's no lights on. So
yeah,
you know, people get on my case for having EMP shield, but I think that it will literally save lives at some point. So I don't have qualms, you know, pushing a product that is actually protecting our military, protecting our homeland security, protecting the Texas grid.
Well,
it's like
it's a legitimate concern. I mean, like, that is, if you're thinking about the most damaging thing that you could do to a nation or, you know, the infrastructure of an organization, everything that we do now is attached to the internet. It is all online. It is done with electronic information. If you take down the power grid, that would be the most devastating attack that you could land on a people, because they don't just have transformers laying around, you know, to replace. If the power grid goes down, then that means no more water, no more electricity, no more air conditioning, no more internet. It's all gone. Like, that's it. We are back to the Stone Age. And how long do you think that would last? Probably a very long time. We're looking at years in order to create that stuff. You're not just going to have parts laying around for new transformers for them to create.
They're not made here.
No, they're not. They're not.
And it can take anywhere from 9 months to 2 years to make them.
Yeah, exactly.
So when we watch the military do their contingency plans, why don't we? People think that I'm here to scare people. I'm not. I'm here to tell you that we have real military people saying that this is something we have shown you in public eye that they're training for, they're buying supplies for, they're getting ready. They've told us, get ready for 6 months to a year of crap. And I'm the one fear porning when it's right there in the public eye that they are telling us it's about to go down. But nobody wants to see it. They just want, you know, they want to, you know, go la, 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 la. I don't want to hear it.
No.
So
If it's not convenient, people don't want to know. Colleen Luce Wilson says, Ben Ladder didn't take out the towels. Okay, so it was about that one again. And then Chef Jay's Reef says, Giddy, I love you both. Filled with Hope, asked about the donation. Pink Panther said... Oh, and I need to say thank you to Gaffer Anon as well. Pink Panther said, the search for the truth is a great motivator. Yes, it is. April Mendoza says, the outages in California was to take out the deep underground military bases, China Lake, etc. I got lists, videos. Did you have any intel on what happened out there in California? I mean, there was some interesting stuff happening out there at China Lake. I did report on it a bit here on the channel.
No, actual military sources says that is totally secretive, and they're not talking anything about it.
Okay.
We have people that are stationed down there, and they said that nobody was talking about it. But I will tell you this: they immediately approved in like a day and a half for $100 million to repair that place.
Yeah.
Is that not weird? Money doesn't roll that fast, and that was instant.
I'll tell you something that I heard. I have a source with some experience out there. There is some major tectonic activity taking place under China Lake. And it could be something that is majorly impactful to the United States in the future. And from my source, he said that there was so much attention paid to it in order to make sure that everything remained stable. And I don't know how much more I can say than that. But
do you think that was why Russia, the sub, do you think that they were avoiding a planetary catastrophe? Do you think that they were down there trying to patch something up?
I think that's very possible. Yeah, I think that's very possible.
Remember okay, so one thing that you probably covered too is after that sub caught fire, we had the Britain did their Cobra meeting. Russia went back and did their emergency meeting. Mm-hmm. Trump ended up Pence turned his plane around, and Trump's schedule, we showed you on our show that his schedule is completely cleared. Mm-hmm. There's not one day when the president, he could be golfing, whatever, it's on his schedule. Mm-hmm. This day, nothing was on his schedule. Something happened that day that was huge. And then military officials told those family members, your family members died avoiding a planetary catastrophe. Mm-hmm. How often do we hear that?
Yeah, very rarely. Very, very rarely. So yeah, that's great. I love that this kind of dovetails in with that. Let's see. And also, Catherine Good, thank you for that. Ben Schwagel says, I have an agenda to bring forth the truth. You shall know the truth. Thank you very much, Ben Schwagel. Brenda Snyder said, concerned about Virginia, praying for the Patriots there, definitely. And then Michael Kenny says, I really like seeing channels like yours evolve and get better and better. Also have guilty pleasures like watching Australians drop things off a tower. Is that a segment on YouTube? Australians dropping things off of a tower? Chris Hawkins says,
They're dropping it down under.
Oh, okay, maybe.
No, I'm just kidding.
Chris Hawkins says, we love you, Methods, praying for healing. Father, we lift our brother Methods up to you for healing. We need more than bread and water for your living water. We pray for your living water. Thank you, Chris. I'm sure that Methods appreciates this. Methods, if you're watching, I love you, brother. Social Observer says, EMP shields do not prevent power outages. No, but they will protect your electronic devices. Is that correct?
Not only that, so say you have a generator and you have 20,000 gallons of gas. It doesn't matter if there's 20 EMPs in a row or a CME, which people aren't thinking CMEs happen naturally and that we have a big one every 100 years. Mm-hmm. That would knock everything out. And just for people who don't know,
coronal mass ejection, that's CME.
Yes, a coronal mass ejection is a solar flare that would do the same effect, right? No. So for your house, people say, oh, well, who cares? Why would I buy one? Because if the power never comes back on, then what's the use? Well, when the power does come back on, your devices, everything that you needed power for, will be fine, and they're not fried. What an EMP does is it literally fries the device permanently. It fries cars, it fries generators. So here's the thing. If your house is wired in, after the CME, as long as you have one on your generator as well, which you should have both, or your car or whatever you're going to do, as long as you have gas and a generator, you can then power all of your devices after the power is out. Mm-hmm. Then in 9 months, if you have the supplies to last that long, nobody will, right? Mm-hmm. But again, if it goes out for 2 weeks, you still have power with your generator or whatever else. So it's really, you need multiple to really be off, or you need your car to run. If your car doesn't run, how are you going to get out of where you're at?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
The EMP shield is literally something I believe in. If I wasn't representing them, I would tell people to do it. And I've been telling other people to tell people to get this. I think it should be included. To be honest, I think people should that should be the government, as part of your tax return, they take a little bit and they give you an EMP shield. They should be protecting our grid. They should do it from their end, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't even have to go into our house.
Well,
but that's what they're doing. That's literally what they're doing.
I'm very surprised that the government has taken so little action in terms of protecting us from a coronal mass ejection or from some type of an EMP event, because it's a foregone conclusion. I mean, we know that they happen with regularity. I mean, we are overdue for a coronal mass ejection that would, really do a lot of damage to this planet. So, I mean, why not? Why do you think they are just ignoring this?
I was going to say not true, because they have done it to all the military. If you look at where these things are installed, military, government, everything else, they will all be up and running. It will be us that aren't.
Well,
so
right.
That's the thing.
That's what I mean is obviously they're protecting, state infrastructure. But I mean, I guess military infrastructure, I should say, not state civilian infrastructure. They're not helping.
Where's our protection?
What's that?
Where's our protection?
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
We should be. We totally should be. Baby Yoda said, I'll bet you $1 Meghan Smarfle runs in the Democratic ticket in 2024. I sure hope that Meghan Markle does not run in 2024. That would be definitely not a race that I would like to see. Let's see. So, yeah, if you guys want to, obviously, you can go to your website and get more information about the EMP. Not that this is a commercial for EMP Shield, but many people are asking in the chat. So what is your website? It's Marfoogle News?
Marfooglenews.com.
.com, okay.
And then /EMP if they want the EMP Shield.
All right, cool. Go check it out.
Marfooglenews.com/EMP.
All right. And then Shelly says, RP and Adam, love you both. Has Adam heard about white hats thwarting a bombing in Kansas City? National Land Archive building by the deep state rogue contractors. God bless. Thank you for that.
So there was I'm pretty sure that was a mortar that was brought to something that was outside the gate, but I might be on a different page. I really wish... we should have got Dex in here too, because I knew we talked about this in length. But we're, as far as white hats stopping something, no, I have not heard of that. And I don't claim to know stuff I don't, but I do know that we covered something about a mortar or a mortar round being brought outside of a military base, outside of Pearl Harbor, actually. And that's totally separate. So no, I do not know. And then the second part of your show, that's a call-in, right?
Yeah, we're almost there.
Okay, all right. So yeah. As far as I know, did you hear anything about that? Do you know?
It sounds familiar. I mean, I just, when you said mortar, it clicked something. But
Kansas City had the briefing, the secret briefing. We do have information about what that briefing was on.
Okay.
And if I can, so I think that some of these drills that are going on in Richmond and in Virginia are related, but they were split up into Republican and Democrat, which oddly enough, that's the only part I don't really understand. They have been drilling for a vehicle going into something, blowing up and having chemicals shoot out. They've actually caught people and stopped these several from already happening, including one gentleman who was a ex-Navy SEAL who got caught. He had all the supplies to do this. So they are drilling for a very specific event all over the country. A car driving into something, blowing up, and spewing chemicals. So that's a fact. I can show you guys, we have all the links to back that up. In all these different states, all these different drills, including Nebraska, Virginia, Colorado, Florida, Arizona, California, Washington, Oregon, and Rhode Island. So those are the ones we know about so far. As far as the briefing, they literally took them by National Guard and separated them and took the Kansas legislators and talked to them about cyber events and how they could have things enter different places and how they have hacked into systems where they could basically give themselves access to things. And we're talking about opening up gates to very exclusive things. Like say there's a checkpoint and a security guard sitting in a station, and there's a big metal gate that stops anybody from driving up and going close to that critical infrastructure, power plants. If you have access to the computer stuff, the cyber side of that, you can open that gate and just drive right in. Boom. So that is a threat. Did you know that 4 states at least are now publicly hacked and are still screwed up from it?
Yeah, actually, yeah. My friend White Hat, who's a government contact. But yes, yeah, he works in cybersecurity, and he told me that yeah, there are alerts that went out specifically about that.
And not only that, so somebody called in last night, did not want to be on air, but they said that they went in to pay a traffic ticket at the DMV in New Orleans, and the person said to them directly that we're still down. They couldn't even accept payment because of the hack.
How long is it?
It's been a month.
Good Lord. So how I mean,
they say it's because of a budget furlough, but nobody's believing it.
Wow.
And then Sacramento and 2 places in Florida.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is crazy. Sheriff's Department and background checks.
So is everybody just driving around with expired tabs?
No, I don't know. I don't know if they have online or what.
That's crazy. Well, it would seem if they can't do it in the office, I mean, I would believe it would be the exact same system, you know. I mean, so I don't know that's very interesting.
And if they say it's budget, how would they not be able to accept funds? They actually, there's articles too linked to last night's show that say that their systems are down.
Wow. Well, if there's anybody here who lives in any of those areas and you've experienced something as a result of your state being hacked, I would love to hear from you guys tonight. You guys, I put the information to do the call-in right on the screen. We've already got several people waiting in the waiting room. I've also put the link to join the conversation via Zoom in the description, or excuse me, into the chat box. Muffin has just joined us. She's under the desk. Lucy Barrera said, Red Pill, you're great. Love your channel. God bless as always. Where we go, when we go all. Thank you, Lucy. Michael Kenny said, take a drive to any local power substation. 0 guards and just a simple fence. Hitting the glass insulators with a BB gun could knock out a city. Very, very true. Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and bring in our first caller. First caller is I'm Just Saying. I'm Just Saying, are you there? Looks like we got to get your mic ready. While we're waiting on that microphone, we're going to go ahead and throw the Zoom link into the description of the video as well. Hi, I'm Just Saying. How are you?
The video as well.
Oh, got to mute. Got to mute.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Did you get it?
You still there?
Okay. All right. Good stuff. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm not live now because somehow my screen is, I don't know, frozen. So anyway, well, we met obviously at New Year's.
Yes.
And I was just getting into the show a bit late. I was listening to you guys about how people getting attacked and all that on their YouTube channels and all that. And I've seen this a lot indeed. And I obviously just started my channel, and I try to promote those as well that are getting attacked, because I know it's not right. I know these people getting attacked for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And probably because we are over the target. So I just want to say that, and I keep an eye out for these people that do get attacked, because it's yeah, I think we need to help each other in that way. And well, that's pretty much what I had to say about it, because I kind of missed the first 40 minutes of the live show.
Well, it'll be there indefinitely, so you can always go back and watch it. Adam, you want to comment on that?
I just want to say thank you for being somebody who recognizes that we are being attacked. So I bet you guys all see it as viewers. You see all of the channels at the same time talking about it, which is pretty, I mean, we're all talking about it. It's kind of obvious that something is going on.
Yeah, it's a. I saw it also with the guys from Edge of Wonder, and they've been viciously attacked. Although, thank God, they have a wider range of people coming to their channels, and they also cover a wider range of things. So I don't think people are able to actually block them.
Hmm.
However, other people like the David Wilcox, the Corey Goods, you guys, well, Red Pill, not so much. He's very popular, and so I think this is also another thing why I started my channel, because I want to. So if everybody unites and we actually support each other, then people actually get to also verify through each other what is right and who's not, because by now we know how to discern, and where the shills are and where not. Also, when we do see them, it's very obvious, and it gets out anyway very quickly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Oh, well, I'm just saying thank you so much for calling in tonight. I do
oh,
appreciate it. And one more thing.
I just got one thing. I just want to say to Methods, miss you, and I pray for you.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right. Thanks for calling in. We'll see you. Well, be
Thank
here
you.
Nice to
tomorrow,
meet you.
okay?
Okay, I will.
Seven-
Well, it's 4 o'clock here.
Oh, okay. Wait, 4 o'clock in the morning?
Amsterdam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It'll be a little earlier tomorrow. 7 p.m. Eastern here tomorrow. So
Yes, please get me on European time so I get to do a live show for once as well, completely. Because seriously, 4 o'clock in the morning every time.
I appreciate you sticking around and staying up for us, okay?
That's beautiful.
All for the cause.
Beautiful. I love it. All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So, yeah, that's it's also
That's
awesome.
cool. You can bring Zoom in too.
Yeah. So this is how we do the calls. It's pretty great. I have a separate room set up. So people call in, and then I admit them one at a time so that we don't get over inundated with too many people. Carl Souls is up next. And Carl needs to get his microphone working. Carl, are you there? You're on the you're on the air with Adam and Red Pill.
On the Adam and Red Pill show.
Alrighty. Hi, guys. How you guys doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Wonderful. Hi, Adam. Hi, Red Pill. Say hi to your girlfriend. She's awesome. And, of course, your mom. All right. I wanted to lighten the show up a little bit. I missed to call in yesterday because I was talking with Baby Yoda. But with all this talk about Australia and Hollow Earth and whatnot, it brought up a memory of what happened when I was a young Marine detached to Tandem Thrust, Australia in 1997. I was a heavy equipment operator from 9th Engineer Support Battalion, and I was tasked to build roads and tear down and build bridges in the middle of untouched Australia, in the middle of outback, northern outback of Queensland, Australia. And while I was out there, I pulled up to this, we call it a bayou here in Louisiana. It's just a, medium-sized body of water, about 30 feet long or 30 feet wide and miles long, goes out to the ocean. And I was in a dozer, and I had one other companion there who was driving a big tram with a bucket on the front of it. And I discovered, there was a large tree that had fallen over the water. And I had to, observe what I was going to do with the dozer to widen and create a bridge there. So I walked out onto this tree about halfway over the water. And as I was standing on this tree over the water, looking around, this massive head popped up out of the water. And it was triangle shaped, and it was about 3 feet long and about 2.5 feet wide. And I grew up in Louisiana. I know what alligators look like. I've seen crocodiles, and I've, seen large snakes and, pictures of anacondas. And this thing didn't resemble anything I'd ever seen before. And as I'm watching this, trying to figure out what it is, its body just popped up out of the water. And it was about 3 feet wide and over 20 feet long. and its skin was it had fine little divots in it, or small scales on it, but it had skin. And anyway, it floated towards me, and then all of a sudden, all four legs popped up out of the water, and it was very interested in me. It was very big, and it was very beautiful. And I knew I was looking at something that very few people had ever seen in their lives. It, of course, it took me 20 years to figure out what creature this was, but it turned out to be, through some research, called a Megalania, or Australian's roaming lizard. And what's even interesting is, in 2 years later, in 1999, a couple hikers went missing, and they found tracks of a Megalania around their tattered camp that was out there. But anyway, so I got about 3 feet from this thing. I could have reached down and touched it if I didn't want to get eaten. Okay, all right, beautiful. Stop. This image, go down, down. All right, that animated picture, 3 more to your right. 3 more, all the way to the right. Go to the right. Stop. Red Pill, can you hear me?
Yeah, there's a slight delay.
Oh, okay. All right. It's a second row down. Get rid of that picture.
Okay, second row down.
Get rid of that picture. Get rid of that picture first.
No, I did. Don't worry. There's a delay. You're about 10 seconds behind me.
All right. To the left picture. One picture over to your left.
With the with the rock cliff behind it and the 2 people in the foreground.
That's him.
That's him. Wow. So it looked like
that's him.
Like a giant Komodo dragon.
Well, that's what I thought it was, except Komodo dragons only get about 7 feet.
Exactly.
But that is it to a T.
Here's a representative of a Megalania next to an individual. That is huge.
Is this a myth, or I'm not saying you didn't see it, but
I peed on its head. So it's physically there, guys. Not my imagination.
No, I believe you. Marf, do you know that you're screen sharing right now?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I was pulling up a picture before you did. I was thinking, I could be of help, but
sure. Okay, so obviously this is a fantastic story, but and some people may scoff at it, but I do believe you, Carl. Carl is a regular viewer of this program, and we know that the Australian outback is vast, okay? There is more than enough space for an ancient giant reptile of this magnitude to be able to survive out there, because they could be so far away from civilization. And if the conditions... Yeah, if the conditions existed...
survive through the flood.
Yeah. So, dude, this is amazing. So, obviously, you didn't get a picture, but any of the other guys in your unit, did anyone else see anything similar?
I brought a camera with me, and unfortunately, I left it in the dozer when I went to inspect the water. So, I didn't get a picture of it. After I was done taking care of business, I hollered at the guy that was across the body of water to come check this out, so I wasn't the only witness. But when I hollered, it submerged. Wow. And it never reappeared again. Wow. But this head was so massive. I mean, I was bedazzled. I had no fear. It like I said, it swam underneath the tree that I was relieving myself on, and it was preparing to get in a position to see if it could get an easy meal. But the way I positioned myself on the tree, there were large limbs blocking him from getting to me. So I had no fear from him. I was kind of worried about, well, if he goes to the bank, I'm screwed. But it didn't seem that intelligent. It looked like it was just looking for an easy meal, and when it realized I wasn't, it just said, whatever.
All right. Now, just to circle back, you said that there was a couple of hikers that went missing in the same area several weeks later?
Right. I forgot the guy's name. He does these, it was on a TV show about monster attacks or dinosaur attacks or something like that.
All right.
But, they had very little evidence. It was, they heard rumors of this creature being out there. So I'm not the only one who's encountered this creature.
Well, this is fascinating, Carl. Call of the night already, dude. I'm gonna look.
If I can chime in,
I
just wanted to say, like, I wasn't trying to disbelieve what I was asking, literally, because I've never heard of this. Is if this was something that is just like a known fact, like I didn't know about it, because I know that there's so many different kinds of animals, like the Komodo dragon and things like that. Maybe this was a bigger version of that for Australia. It looks like, here's the thing, in ancient, I believe that there could be plesiosaurs because all of the water animals that survive through all of the various things that have happened to Earth. So I actually, one of my weird beliefs is I believe that Loch Ness is not in Loch Ness, but is out some, deep part of the ocean. And something like this, which is like a crocodile, could easily survive, especially in places like a bayou or deep waters that are murky and you can't see anything, and we don't explore. We don't explore those.
Well, you also have to think of the stories in South America where there are miniature brontosauruses running around.
Yes.
With eyewitnesses, cave drawings, footprints. They tried to release documentaries on it, and the government shut them down, confiscated the tapes, destroyed their evidence. These creatures are out there, but like last night you were talking, you were on the whole hollow earth.
Yeah.
The thing about Loch Ness is we know there are underground caverns and trenches and tunnels all over the world. Our deep underground military bases are one example of those. So Loch Ness, it's in Ness sometimes. Outside of that, a raccoon.
You'll see in just a second, Carl.
Oh, okay.
Now, I just want to say, Carl's not alone. Sightings of the Megalonia have been recorded in both the latter part of the 19th century and the early decades of the 20th century, and people have written about this. So this is not out of the question. Cryptozoology is a science that I believe is not given enough credit because these things exist. There are more things on this earth that we don't know about than the things that we do know about. And when you take into account
how fast you report on these things, bro.
Yeah. Well, thanks, dude. I appreciate it.
That is some quick research.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, Carl, thanks, buddy. We've got 11 people waiting in the back, but that was fascinating. Excellent call. I do appreciate you calling in. Did you have anything else you want to leave us with?
Shout out to Methods. Love you, brother. Get safe. Get healthy. That one other thing that remember I called in about the fenbendazole.
Yes.
Well, my health has been deteriorating since I got out of the military, and I decided to start taking it. And believe it or not, I feel so much energy when I take this, and it's such a subtle energy. I feel better instantly. 20 minutes after I take it, it's a dry, tasteless powder, and just put it on my tongue, drink a sip of coffee. It's done. A few minutes later, I'm already feeling so much better.
Wow. Well,
so I wanted to put that out there, and from the studies, 45 days can eradicate 90% of the cancers out there. So
well,
just amazing.
Not medical advice, but I'm going to go ahead and try that myself because this is something that I've been looking into ever since someone brought it up here on the program for the first time. So I'm really glad that you called in and now that you've given us a firsthand witness account of how well it worked.
Is it from China?
It is safe. Hold on. The brand name that I used was Safeguard fenbendazole K9 dewormer, and I got it from Tractor Supply, and Walmart sometimes carries it.
All right. I'm sure it's probably available. Look, here we go. Oh, how much do you take? Because I've heard that based on weight, you should take a certain amount.
Well, the John Hopkins' study did a used 1,500 milligrams with 0 to no effect on the liver. So you can't take too much. You can take as much as you want. The Safeguard comes in a horse wormer as well in the fenbendazole at 25 milligrams. And if you wanted to shotgun 3 of those, one every 3 days, it's not going to hurt you. That's the best thing about this, is it's safe for human consumption. But recommended is the 2 gram packets. The box comes with 3 packets. Take 1 a day for 3 days. Take 4 days off. Next week, take 1 packet a day for 3 days. That's the recommended dosage.
Okay. And then I'm sure that's on that website we were talking about, right? The
yes.
mycancerstory.rocks.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm still trying. I got to get a hold of that guy because I want to have him on the show.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Very incredible. All right, Carl, thanks again, buddy. I appreciate you calling in.
All right. Love you, man.
All right. Love you too, brother. Peace.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask you, when I share my screen, does it just take my little box up?
Well, it takes all of our boxes and moves them over to the right, and then whatever is on your screen takes over my screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I was hoping that I could use my screen to just be a reference, so it would see you and then the miniature brontosauruses.
No, it's like a full screen share, so the whole thing comes up. It's not a problem though, so don't worry.
That's funny. Okay.
Real quick, this life is my life. No, this life is mine says, any reason the earthquakes are happening in Puerto Rico and the California fires? I have some perspective on the California fires. I think that there's a combination of things happening there, but basically for an influx of federal monies to California because they are insolvent. And they have a problem with too many people and mismanagement of money. I'm sure there's other things behind that as well. I'd like your take on that in just a second, Adam. But Mr. Austin 27 says, ooh, what is Adam's perspective on Q? We can talk about that in a moment as well. Michael Kenny said, did the dinosaur impeach 45? Thank you, Michael. Roy Couch says, what happened to Dutch Sense? I don't have any direct contact with Dutch Sense, so I don't know what happened. And Roger Williams says, is there a difference between Marfoogle TV and Marfoogle News on YouTube? Okay, so 3 things. Any perspective from your line of sight on Puerto Rico and California, our favorite Anon Q, and then what is the difference between your 2 channels? Go.
Okay, first, Puerto Rico. We have a video of somebody who is supposedly a Puerto Rican government agent, and he is complaining to the world. He was doing a video to try to make it go viral. It's all on Twitter now, and he says that they are drilling for oil, that the United States is now drilling for oil, trying to basically take the dependence off of the Middle East, and that oil drilling is going all the way down to the plates, and he says that this is no accident, that this is a disaster due to the drilling and the fracking or the oil drilling. Okay. So that video, if you watch it, he's very convincing. Don't know if that's true, but they are drilling for oil right off of the coast of Puerto Rico. If so, that means it's our fault that all these people are destroyed. Yeah. Marfoogle TV and Marfoogle News. Marfoogle TV was made when I got an original strike on news, and I continued to do live on that. And then basically it is for the live call-in show that I do. And then Marfoogle News is for shorter broadcasts and edited videos. So,
all right. And then your thoughts on our favorite Anon?
Oh, QAnon. I used to actually cover QAnon like every post. Me and my wife would sit down at the table and actually do it. Mm-hmm. After my personal opinion, and I've been pretty open about it, is that after the first couple of trip code changes, I lost the 100% faith that I used to have, but I've never lost 100% faith in the fact that whatever it may be now, it has literally turned millions of people into researchers. It is a community that literally sticks up for each other, and that's like everything I stand up for. So regardless of who Q is or what Q is, I think it's always been a positive. I don't think there is a negative to QAnon.
Absolutely.
And I've said that publicly many times. As far as, I thought I wavered around the second trip code change or whatever, but I've never lost hope.
All right. So obviously it's a big subject. Many people following it. It's one of many subjects that I cover here, but I've been with it since the beginning. So I still have 100% faith in what's going on. But regardless of whatever it is, even if I'm wrong, you're right. As a movement, it has turned people's eyes, in certain directions that are very necessary. It's taught people how to research, and it's taught people to, think for themselves. That's how I feel about it. And then, a viewer here, and then you may be here tonight, viewer, a Puerto Rican viewer, sent me video of a firefight taking place in Puerto Rico the other day. Automatic gunfire going off, and somebody was standing on their porch, and there were people shooting at each other. And then one of the videos was of somebody expired on the ground. It looked very, very real. I don't know, but I don't think that I kept track of that email, you guys. So if that viewer from Puerto Rico is here and you can, send me another email, what was that you showed? Because I did not see anything about that on TV. It was right after the earthquake started. So, kind of scary, very, very scary. It's not the kind of thing that you expect to see when you wake up and start looking through emails. Oh, people sent me a video. It's going to be, them and their dogs and a flag or something like that. And instead it is some, really violent stuff. So I didn't quite understand what was going on there. All right, so let's go ahead and bring in the next caller. Next is Tony. Tony, you are on the air. Tony, I hope we've got the stream muted in the background. Are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. Yes, welcome to the show once again, my friend Tony here, and you are on the air with Adam.
Oh, great. You two guys are the ones I never miss.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That right there is a lot of time, guys. I never miss either one of you, but I just want to express, if you're new to listening to these guys, why I put these two top of the list is because you're very humble. You listen to everybody. Both of you do that. You listen to everybody. You do not you're not condescending to anyone at all. Everybody has a right to express themselves, and I think that's a beautiful thing. And I love listening to the call-ins. This feels like two communities, like if we're a family, like the Fugel fam, now the Red Pill fam. It's like now we got cousins, like it's a big family reunion.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But Adam, I had called into your show, and I am Daisy Duke on Discord. I didn't even know what Discord was until you. And I called in, and I had said that I was going to open up a YouTube channel. And,
I remember.
Yeah, and I had somebody went and they subscribed to my personal channel because my name was showing, I guess, as it is now. So let me say, I am not opening up a new YouTube channel on my personal channel. That's just, don't even need to go there. But Adam, I just wanted to let you know that you're the one that inspired me to go ahead. I had thought about doing it for a while, didn't know how to do it. You mentioned the content creator area, and I was like, I'm just going to do it. Because I knew that I would have that support, and I knew that I had some things that I needed to say. So you said 20 videos. I've got 18 of them done now. And so I'm so excited. And what y'all were saying at the beginning of this really helped me. So I really appreciate that.
I'm like super excited. I'm super excited for you. So you and we, yeah, I would say just do 2 more. If you were a little bit farther away and you said you put a lot of time, we can make an exception. So what she's talking about is in our Discord, we have a creators corner, which I actually was going to talk to Red Pill and others. And it's really creators coming in and sharing what they found. Like we can even share stuff like, hey, I did a video with this in the title and it banned it, or this or that. And we need to start working together to get past all of this, and not just like protesting with signs, figuring out the system and figuring out what's going on. And if we all do it together, if we say, hey, this word is this word's that, then we can actually figure this stuff out together. Not only that, if one of us goes, like I've been saying, where we go on, we go all, we all stand up. And everybody's afraid to talk to the big bad wolf, Google.
It's very true.
No, Yeah, I'm not too worried. We just need to know how to maneuver things, and we're smart. We can figure that out. I'm not going to worry about that at all, because
We
what
can help you.
happened. Yeah, and I know that you can. And what happened, Adam, as you had said in your story, and I've been on hold, so I don't know if you've repeated. I don't want to be repetitive, but Adam, you had said before that you were passionate about Cascadia. You did a PowerPoint. You started it in home with your family, and it just grew from there. And you said, okay, I need to get this out to the world. So you started your YouTube channel on that. I don't know if I got that exactly correct, but that's pretty close. And I'm like, you know what? I have a lot to say. So it's not religious, it's not political, but it is okay. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but you remember the movie Taken.
Yes,
Right?
love
Liam
love
Neeson.
Taken.
So
A very special set of skills.
yeah. So what that is centered around, let's just say that's what I was out there publicly speaking about. And I would always get the same questions asked back to me. And it just blew me away that people, no matter what age group, was they needed education. So I would always have them with a piece of paper that they could take home and go over with their family. And honestly, that's not enough. So that is one major portion of my YouTube channel, is a safety series.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, and because in fact I had called in when Ben and Rob were on your show, Red Pill, and I asked them, "Are you going to do anything for kids? They need some education here." So that is one of my knacks, is being able to teach about certain things and health and wellness alternative solutions. I've had a kidney disease since I was 8 years old. It's in and out of remission. And I see people from a long time ago and they're like, "Oh, how are your kidneys?" And to me, I feel like they're thinking, "Why aren't you dead yet?"
Aw.
No, but it's funny because even the doctors it's because you have to know the alternative solutions. What's the natural way of doing things? So I'm going to be sharing that. I do have a business partner on that section of it with a doctor of integrative medicine. We've already done some interviews on some really cool things. We got some more stuff coming, and also business solutions. So I'm just like, what do people ask me about all the time? Well, whether this is ever monetized or not, at least I can say, great question. Go watch this video that I just did and contact that doctor or contact that business professional but especially if I'm out there speaking about stuff that has to do with the movie Taken, I can always say, go watch the first 8 videos in that series and then get back with me. Somebody knew that I was starting this YouTube channel and just asked me yesterday if I would come and speak to a group. I'm like, absolutely, I will. But you have to be real careful about things like that. And I'm like, nobody's going to be reading. I shouldn't say nobody, but most people don't read books, and they're not going to take a book home and have a family meeting and go through that every day. They're just not. So I'm
Now,
like,
are you talking about
you're right.
like human trafficking kind of stuff,
Yeah.
like people getting grabbed?
yes, and I didn't
Yeah.
know if I could say that or not. Mhm.
Yeah, it's okay. We're already demonetized. Don't worry.
Are you? Oh, I missed
You
First
put
5
my
minutes.
name in the title, so
yeah, exactly. And I see all the time, and that's what I always tell people. And that's what I tell people when I'm speaking. Is like, if all you do is have a code word amongst your friends or family, and you put that cell phone in your purse or in your pocket and don't use it until you're in a safe place, because people are watching you and they're watching your habits, and they're looking for an easy target. When they see you, they see dollar signs.
It's so true. It's so true. Well,
And
listen,
so-
Tony, tell us
Yeah.
the name of your channel. We got 10 people in the waiting room, so I wanted to
Nope.
make sure we got through to everybody.
I have it. Nope. I'll call back in next time, because I've got a couple more videos that I want to have there and ready. So I'll call back in and let you know what
Okay.
it is when it's ready. Okay.
All right. I love it. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
We'll talk to you
Thank
soon.
you so much. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. All right, guys. Thanks again, Tony. Tony's great. She calls in all the time, too. Coming up next, actually, I think we have a couple more super chats I got to say. Oh, what is the link for the vitamin Carl Sorrells told us about? Or spell it, please. It's fenbendazole, FenBendazole. For dogs. There are types for different animals, but the dogs, I've heard that it's the best one to get. Then also Social Observer says, can we pee on the heads of our reptilian overlords to get rid of them? Call back to Carl. Thanks for that, Social Observer. Always good for the funny super chats. Canadian Truther said, check out Jason Burmis. He made Loose Change, Fable Enemies, New World Order Defined. Just made a YouTube channel, Info Warrior or Jason Burmis Epstein. Yes, I am very familiar with Jason's work, definitely. Michael Kenny said, would love to see Mark Dice on your show, but I swear I will donate big if you can convince him to do the entire show in his Brian Stelter voice. A couple people have suggested I try to get Mark Dice. I'll see what I can do. He's a real big talent. I don't know that he'd come on my show, but it's worth a shot.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, we'll check it out. All right, coming up next is Denise. Denise, are you there? Denise has to get her microphone ready. Well, yeah. So let's go back to Carl's story about the dinosaur.
Oh my gosh,
dude, have you ever had anybody call in and tell a story like that on your show, like about some cryptozoology stuff?
Yeah, we have. We've had many encounters about things that have popped out of the woods. A lot of Bigfoot stuff, but that there's been some weird ones. That one was a combination of that gentleman's voice is like straight up. He could be a radio personality.
Carl's very credible.
He's very good sounding voice too, and the way he told the story was just, it cracked me up. And then that was too funny. I didn't realize. I thought it was, and then he actually said he was going to the bathroom on the thing, and that's scary. That really is. But I believe it. Just because I think that water animals especially could totally survive through something like that. But
Absolutely.
Yeah, as far as a lot of UFOs and a lot of Bigfoot stuff, never any creatures. And I never heard about the mini brontosaur thing either. So
I've definitely heard about that. There was this series that I had when I was a kid, the Time Life Mysteries of the Unknown, and the mini brontosauruses were definitely in there. Denise, are you there?
Hello, I'm here.
Hey, Denise, what's going on?
Oh, I just stopped laughing over that lizard story, and then you just.
It was great.
I wouldn't have been peeing on its head. I would have peed my pants.
I think he was already going, so I mean, I wouldn't have started if I wasn't already there in that situation. But Adam, Denise was on my show a couple weeks ago for our special on Brexit. So Denise, it's good to have you back.
Hi, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me back. I just want to tell you that I'm still stalking you. I'm still watching your show.
Good.
I'm still stalking you. I've enjoyed your show very much tonight. Very informative, as always. And please pass along my love to Methods.
I will.
And tell him I miss him.
I promise I will. Well, thank you for.
All.
Say that again.
And that was all.
Okay, excellent.
I was just saying hello.
Denise, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for calling, and I will continue to say hello in the chat, and I'll talk to you on Twitter and Discord.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, Denise, wonderful lady.
Well, so it's nice when callers, when they only have a minute-long thing, because then it's a nice short call, and then other people can get in if there's a lot of people waiting, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like people have really gotten like the flow of it, you know? I mean, people are respectful, you know? I mean, the first couple times I was like, okay, we need to have some rules here because it's real easy to just get into it with people, or people have stories they want to tell. They just want to keep talking. NS Gaming said, RP78, next time you have Dilly on, Brendan Dilly, ask him to do a spiel about fading. It's super relevant to everything you guys have talked about today. Yeah, actually, we talked about fading the last time he was on the show. Very, very relevant. Son of a Green Card said, the trafficking thing is crazy. A few years ago, someone tried grabbing my cousin's daughter while they were in a Barnes & Nobles. Thankfully, someone saw it and chased him down. He had to drop my cousin's daughter and fled away in a car. Dude, thanks for the super chat. And thank you for that story. That is insane. That happens all the time. Adam, just a couple weeks ago, there was some footage. A passenger on the subway in New York got film of a guy grabbing this little girl on the subway. They got to a stop. He was sitting across from her. He runs, grabs her, runs out of the subway, and she starts screaming. And then it was her uncle or her father who was asleep in the car. The guy had to put her down. People came around. He got arrested.
Oh, I just want to add something real quick. You have two more to read there, but this happened real life to a store right next to me, and it was at a Winco. And this lady came out, and it was raining, pouring down raining, and somebody had put a napkin and physically zip tied it around her windshield wipers. And she ended up documenting this on Facebook. There were two black SUVs waiting. She had two 8-year-old girls in the back seat of her car, and they zip tied a napkin around a napkin message around her windshield wiper. So when you get into the car, it's raining, you have to use your windshield wipers. You see something on your thing, you get out of the car to go take it off.
Mm-hmm.
She had the insight to say, screw it, I'm just going to leave it there. She ended up getting home. The thing was zip tied on there, so she would basically be sitting there trying to get this thing off and couldn't. And they were literally parked on a V right behind her car. That's scary.
So scary. Oh, and Charles Pixley is in the audience, good friend of the program and a good friend of mine personally in real life. Charles Pixley, good to see you here, buddy. Glad you're here. Rose Thistle Artwork says, Niall from the Irish Patriot YouTube channel, he was with Gran Torino when they got drinks thrown on them, is running for election in Ireland. Will you have him on as a guest? Yeah, I would totally have him on as a guest. Niall, if you are watching, or Rose Thistle Artworks, or if you can have him get in touch with me, redpill78@protonmail.com. Just have him put that in the subject line so I can see it. Get a lot of emails every day. It would be great to have him on. Michael Kenny said, also, sort of building on Carl's story, does anyone worry about the viruses that are locked under the polar ice that may one day wreak havoc on our immune systems? I've heard of it before. I've heard that that's a possibility, but I don't know. I mean, obviously, if there was life down there in Antarctica and there was a flash freeze and there were things that were frozen in the ice that we don't have the ability to fight against nowadays, it's a real possibility. But I don't see the polar ice caps melting entirely anytime too soon. If the polar ice is gone in Antarctica, then everything's going to be underwater at that point. What do you think about that, Adam?
It's not my expertise as far as a lot of the stuff that's going on over there. I think that, it's just pretty wild, everything that's changing. To be honest, I'm actually seeing that a lot of people are saying that we're buffering. So I don't know if we're covering something that's over the target or what.
I think that's probably what happened. I'm showing that we dropped down to 643 people from just about over 4,000 just a moment ago. Now we're back up to 4,007. So it looks like we have bounced back. And then Social Observer said the cabal pays handsomely for children. Sick. Absolutely sick. All the more reason to make sure that you are prepared and know what to do in a situation like that. Next caller on the line is Canadian Truther. Canadian Truther, looks like we've got to get your microphone there. And the number for the show is actually posted on the screen, guys. If you look in the lower right-hand corner, it says dial by location, and we've got the locations for the U.S.
That's tiny.
Yeah, can you not see it? Well, I always think about the fact that I watch YouTube on my computer, or excuse me, on my television.
On mobile, it's I don't think you.
All right.
You can see it now that it's.
I just made it a little bigger. Also, it should be in the description of the video, guys. So let me just copy that one more time. I'm going to paste the full information here in the description of the video, so you can just refresh your screen if you need that number. But tell you what I'll do. I will also put it into the chat box. So you've got to have that phone number, and then you'll have to dial in with the meeting ID. So let me add that as well. And then there you go, guys. So you use those two numbers there, the phone number, then the meeting ID. You can join the conversation. Canadian Truther, are you there?
Yeah, I think so. Do you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, brother. How you doing tonight?
Good, man. I just want to say I love your channel. I've been following you guys for quite a while now. Love you guys.
Thank you.
Just shout out. You guys got to check out the Clinton Chronicles or the Clinton Body Count if you haven't seen it.
Oh yeah.
Jason Burmans has done a ton on Epstein. You have to check that out. And he did a deep dive on Bill Barr that you have to check out. It was one of the things that disappointed me about the Q movement was this Bill Barr deep dive. But yeah, that's it.
I'll be happy to talk about that because that's something I've thought about quite a lot. I mean, he had some involvement with Iran-Contra. Obviously, he was the Attorney General under Bush 1. And, this is my own personal theory. What's that?
It's hard for me to put all the chips in his camp at this point and hope that he's going to do the best for us.
Well, what I think is going on, and I'll either be proven right or I'll be proven wrong. In either way, I'm okay with that tonight. But this is what I think is happening. I think that Bill Barr has watched the erosion of the United States happen gradually. So. Obviously he has a history with the clowns in America. I think that he is I think he's a patriot. I think that he was coming, from this perspective that there were things that needed to be done, necessary evils, things that, he just had to go along with because that's how it worked. And as he was playing that game, he left government, went into the private sector, and watched everything slowly erode to the point where we're at right now, where Trump and the White Hats are taking back the country, giving us back the country, and so I do believe that he is now working for the good of the country and for the restoration of America.
Yeah, he's had almost a turn of heart.
Yes, that's exactly what I think. Adam, do you have any thoughts on Bill Barr and what's happening there?
No, I mean, I was just thinking in my head, how does the community decide who is actually, a white hat and who's a black hat, and
hard to take.
How do you guys kind of decide this? Because there's some people that have done really horrible things towards Trump and then kind of redeemed themselves. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're kind of talking about? How they've kind of changed?
There's people in his cabinet as well that he's appointed to positions that I would be like, these people's history are terrible. Why are you putting them there?
Exactly.
I have a theory about that as well. I mean, I first of all, President Trump, in my opinion, and I believe that this is something we can back up. He's a genius. Okay, he knows exactly what he's doing. He uses people.
Such a trigger.
He
Such
uses
a trigger
people.
For so many people.
I know. I think most of the people watching the show are on the same page. But he uses.
You don't land perfect backflips slipping on a banana this many times.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so he takes people that are politically advantageous to him and places them into situations like when he first put his government together. Everybody says it's a deep state government.
I was extremely concerned.
Well, yes, but you see what's happened since then. He has slowly whittled those people away, taken advantage of the temporary placements that he's been able to put in there. So he's essentially put together like a dream government, okay? Anybody who was there initially was to placate the deep state and make them believe that Trump was going to... Yeah, that he totally grifted them this entire time. And now we're at a point where, things are getting, they're moving a lot quicker. Yeah. And I'd like to remind everybody we've got over 150,000 sealed indictments at this time. Those indictments are all going to lead to something, okay? That means that we've already had a grand jury that's been impaneled. There's already been charges that have been put in place. It's just a matter of putting the handcuffs on. So, I mean, I've never heard of that many indictments being brought and then them not being acted on. I think that has never happened in the history of this country.
I totally agree. What did you guys think? When you got rid of Bolton, I was extremely excited. But then for Pompeo to just kind of take this overarching position kind of worried me as well. Kind of drew away from the excitement I had of getting rid of Bolton to begin with. But
I think that Pompeo is actually a patriot, and I think that he is working with the agenda of the president. Bolton was one of those people who was put in place to placate the deep state, and for them to think that, okay, Trump's going to do what we want him to do. We got this war hawk national security advisor. Everything is safe. But then what did Trump do? He head faked on going into Syria. He head faked on starting additional wars. Bolton wanted him to go ahead and just destroy Iran. He didn't do it. And then he got rid of Bolton, and then, everything's up in the air right now. He's just gutting the National Security Council at the same time. So I don't know. Pompeo, it's going to flesh out. But whether or not these people are, full white hats, full black hats, I think that many of them are more somewhere in the middle, gray hats. And as long as Trump can use them for a specific task and then dispose of them, then I'm perfectly fine with that, because it's all going to shake out in the end.
I found it hilarious on Twitter when the Iran thing was going down that people were saying, "Not my president. I voted for Hillary." And it's like, dude, if you guys got Hillary Clinton like within a few weeks of her presidency, I guarantee you would have been at a war with Iran.
It would have been a glass parking lot. Would have been no good.
She was about that from the get-go.
Yep.
You guys are super lucky you got Donald Trump as your president. I'm happy for you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me on. Can't believe I actually got to talk to you guys, and take care. And where we go on, we go all.
Absolutely, brother. Thanks for the call. We'll talk to you next time. All right. And let's see. Social Observer says that Barr wants to redeem himself. I think so. Hey Jude also said, SGT Report released a video about white vans soundproofed stealing kids. Have you seen it? I have not seen it yet, but I know that it happens. Social Observer also said Trump knows that the age of Aquarius will flood NYC and no wall will help. His tweet tonight proved it. That's an interesting theory. Haven't heard about that. Michael Kenny said, talk to Erin Moffat. She uses software where you can have a scrolling info bar at the bottom of your screen like the news. Ugh, it hurts to say news. Yeah, that's definitely something that I wouldn't mind having. But here's the thing also, I have a Mac, so I don't have a Windows. So a lot of the tools for stuff like this that are available for Windows are not necessarily available for my system, so I kind of have to go in a different direction. But Fred from No is on the air, and looks like he's just getting his microphone set up. What are you doing there, Adam?
I just wanted to say something real quick. Great job on the. I didn't realize you have 1080 60p, which that might not be cinematic, but I've told people right now we are getting rated higher based on that. But also I wanted to remind the smaller creators too. You need to be doing what he did with today's broadcast and doing 60p or 4K because they're going to start shifting over to pushing that content because they're moving over towards TV. And then the second thing is. Wanted to remind your audience that you guys all need to go through all of your creators and check that little bell notification because people complain about notifications, but they don't realize they've actually been unsubbed completely. Even your somebody you were subbed to, they'll show up in your feed even if you're not subscribed.
Yeah.
So make sure to check your subscribe and then make sure to push the thumbs up button. That helps people like Red Pill get shared out. It does matter now. It has actually, they changed the algorithm, and those thumbs up in combination with watch time help. So make sure to do that right now.
Absolutely. While you're sitting there watching the show, guys, go and make sure. This is another thing. After you make sure that your notifications, all notifications are turned on my page on YouTube, you also have to go into notifications on your phone and turn on notifications for YouTube. Because if the notifications are turned on the app, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get them on your phone. They have to be turned on in the system on your phone. Fred from No, are you there?
It's actually Fred from New Hampshire. I'm sorry, I misspelled
it. No problem, Fred. What's going on? You're on the air.
Happy days. Welcome to Jamaica.
I wish I was in Jamaica. We're getting like 5 to 8 inches of snow tonight with 3-degree weather.
Yeah, yeah. Weather is crazy.
But either way, one thing people have not been talking about is the Pelosi pens, the bulletproof pens, the bullet vest band that she's been wearing. That was Pelosi's message. No, Adam Schiff used to do little messages, and same with James Comey. They're both in the limelight. So they did a Star Wars and blah, blah, blah. But this is all a message leading to Virginia.
Oh. I can believe that.
Now, you have to understand, they're putting news articles out there about Trump ordering 1.something billion bullets. So that's the first of it. Then they have all these crisis actors showing up, and they have anti-Israel groups doing military exercises. So literally, Virginia is a powder keg, and it's all to discredit patriots, Second Amendment, Americans who want to fight for the United States.
Of course.
And this is talking points for the MSM. And one great thing I wanted to point out, which is really not that great, it's kind of sad, but Amazing Polly put out a podcast tonight showing that right below where all this stuff is happening was the founders of the Finders Group.
Ooh.
And that is very key. There's a lot of military and a lot of secret intelligence right above where all this is happening. And if you look at Charlottesville, Virginia, they did not drop that. It's still in mainstream media. So if you go on any YouTube and type in Charlottesville or type in on Google, it's all brought right to the front point about Trump saying about white supremacists.
Right.
So they left all of this on their talking point just for this narrative. So this is all pre-planned.
Absolutely.
Then you have the governor of Virginia saying now you can't have any firearms and you're going to be treated as a terrorist. So that's anti-constitutional.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the governor of Virginia is going to be brought up against the Supreme Court for basically breaking the Constitution. So beware in Virginia, but supposedly Patriots in control, and we will find out. And a lot of military hardware brought in, like the FBI is talking about taking night scopes and everything else. However, Trump just rebuilt the military, so why would that become a big concern?
Right. Perhaps there's just so many new people, or they just need new equipment because the stuff they had before is too old. Well, Fred, you brought up some good points. I appreciate your call, bud. We got a couple more people and only 5 minutes left, so thank you very much for calling in.
Thank you, Fred.
Talk to you soon, brother. All right, guys. I just wanted to get to a couple more calls. Let's see. Oh, White Hat. My good friend White Hat dropped a super chat. He said, much love, Patriots. See y'all tomorrow. Yeah, please be here at 7 p.m. Eastern for Comfy Sunday with me and White Hat. We're going to be talking about current events. So yeah, make sure you guys can join us. We've got some stuff to do during the day, so it's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern. Kelly's iPad is next on the air. Kelly, you're muted, and I see that you're unmuted. How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. What's going on?
God. Finally.
You made it.
Last time I was on, I tried like 5 times, and I don't know what was going on. There was such a glitch in the system that night. But I just want to say thanks to both of you guys. I really appreciate everything you've been sharing and talking about, and always talk about good stuff. So good to be here. I'm a Virginian.
Ooh.
I was in in Charlottesville when that happened. My mother-in-law was in the hospital. And that whole thing was crazy. It was buses coming in from everywhere, nobody local. And then as soon as it was gone, all the people were gone, it was back to peace. So all the news is bogus about that. I lived in Richmond for a while. I don't live there anymore. But I've been very, very concerned about what's going on. And because I have friends all over, the States and even in Australia, I've been paying attention to things that are going on. And a friend of mine from Paradise had told me about the heavy chemtrails and stuff. And then they have pictures of their house where there were dew weapons that literally, melted steel. The trees around the house were still green, but yet there was melted steel. Pipes were literally just like burned in half. And
like a microwave.
Yeah.
Yeah. And same thing in Australia. Okay. But it's all about pushing climate change and, their agendas, gun control, back to Agenda 21, basically. Yep. And so what I see going on in Richmond really concerns me, because here in Virginia, they have been heavily spraying chemtrails you've got flu and dew set up is basically what's going on. You've got mega flu going through here, people sick, and then you've got it looks like a setup for the dew weapons. And then I had noticed that they were working on the power grids, and we were without power one day about 6 weeks ago for 16 hours. And I was like, what's up with the power? And there was nothing going on, no high winds, no tornadoes, and they said it was rain. And so I checked the grid, and half of the state was without power that day for 16 hours.
Wow.
Half the state. And so I was like, what's going on? And so my friend in Paradise had told me that that's what happened to them right before that stuff went down too.
Kelly, something you just said there, flu and dew. I mean, it makes me wonder if they're not dumping super flus over the population so that when it is time for them to go in and disarm people, they're going to be able to do it with minimal resistance. Adam, what do you think about that?
I can definitely concur with that. This is going to be one of those kind of twilight things to some people out there, but I used to live on top of the Parkway in North Carolina, and I lived at a very high elevation, so I was above the clouds a lot of times. And this was back in 2005, 2006, 7. And I remember one day I had this crazy dream, and I woke up and I heard the Lord give me I'd call them addresses, which it was like a scripture. And it was in Isaiah, I believe it was 26. And it says, go into your house and shut the door until the anger of the Lord's wrath is past. And I don't believe that meant God was being angry, because I don't believe in that. But it was just a message to me to stay inside. And I didn't understand it, but I did. And so, that morning I look outside and I could see over Charlotte, and it was like the craziest black cloud I have ever seen in my life. I mean, it gave me shivers literally when I saw it. But what was so strange about it was on top of the cloud, it looked like tsunami waves, and they were it was like 7 of them in a row. So it'd be like a big one, and then the next one would be a little bit smaller, and it'd go down and then flatline, and then 7 more. Well, I didn't even know about HARP at that time. Am I saying bad words on here?
No, don't worry. We're already demonetized. It's okay.
Yeah, the last caller was, I think that was every filter word in the book.
I'm so nailed it. Okay, but anyway, so it was like it kept doing that. Like it'd be 7 and then flatline, and then 7 and flatline. And I was like, wow, that's weird. And so I literally stepped outside for just a second with my dog, and the chemical smell was so strong, and it literally like took my breath. And I came inside, and I looked in the mirror, and my eyes were completely bloodshot red. Like my whites of my eyes were red.
Wow.
And I was like completely freaked out. And I don't know why this sounds crazy, but I just had this intuition for whatever reason to put hydrogen peroxide, I sniffed some up my nose and put some in my eyes, and I was okay. But I had neighbors that died from flu. That was when that 48 state flu epidemic went around. I think this was like in 2010, I think. But people were dying. I went down to my neighbor's like a week later, and I literally jumped back when he opened his door. He was like, his cheeks were like green and blue and purple, and
like
he had the blue
stand or something.
Yeah, it was weird.
All right. So, well, Kelly, I hate to cut you off. I can't. Yeah. No, we are over the time already. So I just wanted to just tell you if you could just get to the end of the point.
Okay. Well, I wanted to just share something that someone just shared with me. It was a post from Tom DeWiss, and he's in Richmond right now. And he said that there were 7 buses that just came into Richmond, and Antifa was on them, and they're wearing MAGA hats and NRA. And then there's others that are posing as Dems with anti-gun posters, and the agenda was that they're going to start a fight with each other to start violence tomorrow.
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought. Somebody sent information related to that at the beginning of the show. That was the first thing I thought. There was going to be some type of controlled fighting just to kind of pop things off and get things moving. All right. Well, Kelly, thank you very, very much for that information. You guys do be careful. Be on the lookout. Keep your head on a swivel. Watch your 6 if you are in the Virginia area. Kelly, thank you for your call.
Thank
So
you,
I-
bless you guys.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Yeah, God bless you. So you did ask a question real quick, and I wanted to answer that because you said, do you think that they're setting it up so they could just knock the pens down, right?
Yeah.
In Virginia?
Yeah.
It would be like something we've never seen before here. We could take out, any of the Middle Eastern countries in 3 weeks if we wanted to. Imagine if they used the military's organization and everything that they have, night vision, everything. In the dark of night, they would shut down any kind of rebellion if it was just a state wide thing. That's my opinion. That's why I think that all these states, if you did hear, states are actually asking each other like, hey, do you want to team up? Do you want to be a part of ours? Like, that's some crazy stuff.
Somebody had sent me information that the governor of Virginia had asked for help from the governor of North Carolina, I believe.
Yep.
And they declined to send their National Guard there, but did send some other type of like bio-terror squad or something like that. I just got to finish these super chats real quick. Social Observer said fiber optics technology went from reverse engineering of crashed UFOs, but we use 5G technology. What is the relation of 5G? What is the relation of 5G to night vision technology? If you know anything about that, Adam. Michael Kenny said, I feel Virginia is a look at my left, I do with my right type of thing. You both are way more aware of what's going on. So curious as to what might be going on in the other hand. Yeah, I mean, it's some all kinds of, effery down there in Virginia right now. Brittany Taylor, and Brittany, I might have missed you at the beginning of the show, so thank you for the super chat. I think the MQ-9 or MK-9 Reaper drones built by Lockheed Martin, I believe, are contributing to fires. I saw them being transported via railway in Colorado. That's very interesting. And then, quite frankly, another good friend of the program, Frank, good to see you, buddy. Hey, Red Pill Buddy, great show as always. Off topic, your latest appearance on Quite Frankly is going to premiere as its own highlight tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on my channel. Sweet dreams. So that's a perfect way to end the night, you guys. 7 to 9 here with me and White Hat. And then, Quite Frankly, my appearance on Quite Frankly the other day at 9 p.m. tomorrow, directly after my show. And then Azure Sky says, Red Pill, I get kicked off your show at least 3 or 4 times a night. It's infuriating. Does this happen to anyone else when they watch the show on the TV? I know that it happens because I hear it from people all the time, and you guys can bet that I am broadcasting, as Adam said, in full 1080 at 60 frames a second. I have a fiber optic connection, so it has nothing to do with my connection. It's definitely the overlords on this platform. Well, Adam, listen, it's been a great show. Thank you so much for being here. I want to give you the last word. What would you like to say to the audience?
Just all the information that we've pretty much talked about, we have documented a lot of it with the help of Dex. If you guys have never seen my channel, if you go to marfooglenews.com, specifically the information that we were just talking about is at marfooglenews.com, and I'll just show you real quick, and I'll undo
Please
this.
do.
The links right here. I think it should be going to the website here. But you can see it says Antifa group plans to march alongside pro-gun protesters. This is all from last night's show, and we have all the links of all the stuff that people were talking about tonight there, so you guys can actually check out what they're talking about. So those 7 buses that she said that just arrived, that's there. Everything else is there. And then we're going to be doing a small special show for our main channel, Marfoogle News, after I get done with this show. So thank you so much for having me on your show. Again, I appreciate you, and I appreciate, I think we should all be doing this kind of stuff and stop letting others and our viewers decide, who can be friends and who can come on your show.
Sure.
It's like, that happens a lot, by the way. Have you noticed that? There's little clicks and,
yes.
Oh, I can't talk to him because he does this and does that. Forget all that. Like, we need to start standing up for ourselves.
Yeah, I'm definitely all about that stuff too, man. I think that people just need to get along, and people need to stop bickering and infighting, because it doesn't do us any good. The longer and the more that we are divided, the easier we are to conquer. All right, so I just want to say thank you to all of my mods for helping out in the chat tonight. Thank you to all the audience who came and watched us. If you guys want to go check out Marfoogle, you said you're going to be doing that on D-Live tonight?
Yeah, and then we'll end up we'll be premiering it on. We're not gonna have a normal show because today was but we have some information that we have documented, and we're gonna show some articles and actually show some of the information for Marfoogle News.
All right, excellent. I'll be tuning in. So thank you, everybody who tuned in tonight. You guys, we had over 4,000 viewers for the majority of the program. I really appreciate it. So as always, this has been Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this was your Red Pill News. Good luck, everyone, and God bless.